Welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live. Now, you may have seen our previous guest chat about an upcoming discussion on decolonizing and democratizing museums, which can only conclude that art runs beyond her veins. Well, Gabi Ngcobo is an independent curator, creative researcher, and educator who was appointed curator of the 10th Berlin Biennale for Contemporary Art. Ngcobo, who teaches at the Wits School of Arts, joins an illustrious list of past curators at the Biennale, among them Ulrich Obrist as well as Meta Bauer. Well, she joins us now to tell us more about her appointment and what that means to her. Good morning. Welcome again.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's give background and context into the Berlin Biennale for Contemporary Art. What is it?
It is a large-scale exhibition that takes place every 2 years in Berlin.
Yeah.
This would be the 10th version in 2018, so it started already in the 90s, so it's 20 years old.
Yeah.
And it has had curators from different parts of the world, of the Western world, and also Eastern Europe. And this time it's the first time that somebody who's not from this part of the world will be curating the Biennale.
What does that mean, though, for you personally and as somebody who's so involved in art and curatorship?
Well, I'm very excited. And because, of course, for me, it's an opportunity I've been working as a curator for a very long time, but also as an educator, and also running project spaces in Johannesburg. It's really an opportunity to collate my research over a period of years and my interest on a very, very large scale.
What does that entail, your work, though, as the curator of the Biennale?
It means that I identify artists who would be part of the Biennale, but there's a lot of research and collaborations, looking for venues for the exhibitions as well, and also just really getting to know a place like Berlin on a more deeper level.
Yeah. I mean, and according to the website, it says, the Biennale styles itself as an open space that experiments, identifies, and critically examines the latest trends in the art world. What does that mean to you? I mean, when you read the brief, what does that necessarily mean to you?
I mean, for me, I'm really interested in historical narratives. And so when you think about latest trends as historical narratives, I'm interested in how contemporary artists would look at how they've been shaped by different historical events, and responding to those in a contemporary sense. But of course, there are many, many urgent things that are happening presently, and also they don't happen in isolation from those histories. So I'm really interested in people who have interesting ideas about how to reflect on this as they experience it, be they young or old.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, you recently returned from Sao Paulo for that Biennale, and then you were also, I think in 2007 for the Cape Town Biennale. How do you bring those, experiences together in preparation for this one?
It's working in different political landscapes. And of course, it's 2007 in Cape Town it feels like a very, very long time. And I know if I were to do Cape Town again, it would be Cape Town would be a very different city in terms of what's happening there now. But in Sao Paulo, as a more recent experience for me, it was a totally new world, new language, new ways of speaking about things. So kind of learning, it's like learning a language, but learning sensibilities of that language as well, in order to respond, in order to decide which artist would be very critical to bring in these dialogues that are happening in Sao Paulo, but also, of course, not in isolation to the rest of the world.
Yeah. What happens between now and the start of the Biennale in 2018?
Well, there's a lot of research, assembling a team, finding the right venues for the Biennale. There's a lot of writing, inviting artists, inviting positions. So I'm also interested in thinking beyond art. So my project would be thinking way beyond art.
Yeah.
Yes.
But there's another side of you too, which is teaching, where you are a lecturer at Wits. What is it about imparting knowledge and changing how we think that is so close to your heart?
Yeah, it is another side of me, but I do see it as all one thing.
Right.
So my curatorial project or my curatorial thinking really is it's important that I exercise some of my thoughts in class, in conversations with my students. So I do teach from a curatorial perspective.
Right.
And all these things, including running a project space in Johannesburg, are all part of me.
Yeah.
So I prefer not to dissect, or it's a triangle. That is very important. I do work with my students on a regular basis on my projects, big or small.
Before I let you go, what is art according to Gabi?
Art, this is a big question, but art according to me is something that we need in order to, it's not like food. So we can absolutely live without art.
Yeah.
But it would be a very unbearable life.
Yeah.
Yes.
The best explanation, yes. Gabi, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Gabi Ngcobo is an independent curator, creative researcher, and educator who, according to her, you can't separate those positions that shows it's a triangle. Well, we were talking to her in her capacity as the curator of the 10th Berlin Biennale for Contemporary Art. She recently co-curated the 32nd Biennale de Sao Paulo, as well as the Cape 07. That was in 2007 Biennale. That was in Cape Town.